Hello.
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry.
Oh, no
I'm trying to
problem.
figure out
How are you?
my speaker things off because they've got drama going on the TV here.
Yeah, I think we all have some drama. Well, take your time. I think it might just be me and you this evening. I
Keeps us
sent
help.
my email announcement out to about 1,500 people,
Okay.
and I think you're the only one that signed up for tonight, which is totally fine with me. I'm happy to help.
Oh, well, that 1,450. And so,
So, what have you got this evening? Do you have any questions for me?
well,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I have two questions. One is we have the second version of the iTV. And I understand right now version 3 is out and they're coming out with another version soon.
Yeah, that's the rumor.
But every time anybody is interacting with ITV, pardon me?
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. Anytime anyone is changing channels on ITV or looking for something, my iTunes on my laptop suddenly come on, the songs get changed, the volume goes up. Is there any way to stop this?
Yes. So what's happening right now is you have a remote in your hand and you're sending the message to the Apple TV, but the laptop is also detecting that signal coming from the remote. So what you want to do on your laptop is turn off the ability for the laptop to see or even pay attention to that remote. Now, this is actually buried way down in the system preferences, and it's almost impossible to find it. So if you open up your system preferences, and hopefully you can see my screen right now.
Yes.
Can you see my screen right now, Rebecca?
Yes, I can.
I may have lost you again. Can you hear me?
No, I think we're on a
Yeah. Yeah. We're on a bit of a delay. So I'll walk through it as you're looking at my screen, and then hopefully you'll be able to find it on your own. So in System Preferences, under the black apple in the top left-hand corner, you open up System Preferences, and you get Security. Now you would think that this would not be in Security, but I believe it is. So we select Security. Then, once we're at Security, under General, I believe we go under Advanced. Select Advanced, and from there you'll see a checkbox that says check to disable remote control infrared receiver. If you check that box, then your computer, your laptop, will no longer go crazy when you're trying to control your Apple TV. Question answered.
Ah, okay. Excellent.
All right, what else you
Okay,
got?
so I'm going to try it now.
Oh, yeah.
Security, and then it's under General?
Security under General, and then Advanced in the bottom right-hand corner.
Okay. Wow. The other thing I have, and I cannot for the life of me figure this out, when I'm on my Mac, my iPad, I get these messages saying that something is almost full. And when I go to it, they mean my memory and that I have bought through in the iCloud. And I have more than enough memory out there, so I don't know why it's saying it's almost.
Yeah, yeah. This can be so confusing, and this is something that I talk about. Hey, Barbara, thanks for joining us tonight. This is one of these things that just everybody is confused about, and Apple has never really done a great job of explaining it. So first, we have to narrow down, Rebecca, what exactly is the message, because there are several types of storage. I've got my phone sitting here on the desktop. Can you see my phone that I've got on the desktop here on my computer screen?
Yes.
Okay, so you can follow along with your own, but on my phone, what I'm going to do is first, I want to decipher between the two different types of storage. There is local storage, in other words, what is on this phone physically, how much can this phone hold? And then there's a second type of storage, and that is the kind of storage that's up in the internet called iCloud storage. And Apple gives you 5 gigs of space but they want you to buy more space from them. And up until about a month ago, it didn't make any sense to buy extra space from Apple. But now Apple has done something recently that's now given us the ability to, or has given us a good reason to buy more space, and I'll talk about that in a second. But on your phone, what you'll do is you'll select Settings, and once you go to Settings, and hopefully my phone will follow along with it, it doesn't look like it's following. After you go to Settings, you go to General, and then you go to About. Now, first thing I'm looking for, and I wish that this was doing it on my screen up on mine, but it's not for some reason. You look at capacity, and then you look at available. Can you follow that on your phone and find that yourself?
Yeah, I can do that. It's my iPad that's giving me the wonky messages.
Then the iPad, yeah, let's look at that.
Well, so it would be the same.
Yeah, it's going to be the same. So before we do anything, though, take a look on your iPad and go to exactly where I was just talking about.
Okay.
So on the iPad, you're going to go to Settings,
and
then you're going to go to General, and then you're going to go to About.
Okay. All right.
Okay, once you're in About, can you see the word capacity?
Yeah.
All right, what is the number next to the capacity?
It says 27.8 gig.
Okay, so you have a 32 gig iPhone or iPad. Now under that, it says available. What word do you see under, or what number do you see next to available?
0.
Okay, so what that's telling us is that this has nothing to do with iCloud space. This is locally on your computer. Locally on your iPad, that is, there's an issue. So let's just double prove that to ourselves. While you're still in Settings, go back to Settings and go to iCloud.
Okay. iCloud.
Do you see that?
Okay, I go oh no, I gotta go to iCloud.
iCloud, right, the iCloud settings.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my phone back up. Hopefully it'll work this time. So now you will see a storage setting under iCloud.
Okay.
You see that? And can you see what that says as far as how much storage is available?
Yeah, it says total storage is 200 gig. Yeah. Available is 164 gig.
So this message that you're running into is not related to iCloud at all. You have plenty of storage space. The message is related to the fact that this iPhone or this iPad is absolutely full and it can't hold anything else. So let's go find out what's taking up all the space on this iPad. Back in Settings again, you're going to scroll down and let's see, I think it's under General, and then you're going to find the word Usage.
Usage. Okay.
All right. Now select Usage and you'll see a new storage category. And that tells us similar to what we were just talking about. But then you'll see something down there that says Manage Storage. You see that?
Yes.
Select Manage Storage. And now that's going to give you a laundry list of everything that's taking up from large to small on your phone. Pictures are usually the first thing that takes up the most space. Music, that kind of thing. Do you see that list filling in?
Yeah.
What's at the top of the list?
Top of the list is iCloud Photo Library.
Okay. And how many gigs is that next to the far right?
24.7.
Okay. So the issue here is that you've downloaded a lot of these pictures, and I bet I know what's happened here. I bet when you went to iCloud Photo Library, which I'm encouraging people to use, I think it's really cool. It's Apple's new way of putting your pictures up onto the internet, and then you can see all of your pictures on all of your devices. But I bet that you made a mistake. I'm betting that you actually chose to download the originals instead of just the thumbnails. Let's see if I'm right. Go back in Settings
I can guarantee you. Yeah.
I hope so. I hope I'm right. Go back to Settings and go to iCloud again. I wish my phone was showing on this today.
All right.
All right. Now, once you're in iCloud, go to Photos. Finally, this is working.
Okay.
You see on my screen, I have checked to optimize the iPhone storage. Do you have checked to download and keep originals?
Under photos, my photo stream I have on, and I have photo sharing on. Am I at the wrong button?
Okay, so, well, maybe not. Let's go to, you see photos.
Let me go.
Yeah, look at my screen, and you can see by my screen where I'm at with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now select photos. And at the top, do you see something that says iCloud Photo Library?
All it says is my photo stream and photo sharing.
Okay.
It doesn't have...
So, the plot thickens. I think I know what's going on. We're going to get out of here. I think you're in iOS 7 and not iOS 8. Let's see if I'm correct here. Let's go back to iCloud. Let's go back to Settings, and let's go back to General and About. Tell me when you're there.
Okay.
All right. Now,
I'm here.
Once you get there, look for, let's see, version. And tell me what number is next to version. Just the first number. 7? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, Rebecca, you're still back in the old days, meaning that you're still using iOS 7. Well, you're going to need to get to iOS 8. And once you get to iOS 8, look on my computer screen and you'll see what I'm talking about. Once you get to iOS 8, you can go back to iCloud and you can turn on, under Photos, an iCloud photo library. And you can choose not to leave the originals, but to just bring the thumbnails down. Now what happens then is, if you keep watching on my phone, I can now go to Photos and I have access. This is the keyword. I have access to every single picture in my life. These are not the originals. They're not stored. I don't have 75,000 pictures on my phone. I have access to 75,000 pictures. So, for you to get to this point, and you're already paying for 200 gigs of space online to store your pictures.
Yeah.
But you're right now, Rebecca, storing your pictures locally on your phone. So what you need to do is first make sure that everything's up to date. Your computer's up to date. When I say up to date, I mean on iOS, on operating system 10.10. That's called Yosemite. Once that's up to date, you also want to update your phone. But the problem is right now, Rebecca, you can't update your phone because you have no space to do the update. So when you plug your phone up, open up iPhoto. If you have not gone to Yosemite yet, you're still in iPhoto. If you have gone to Yosemite, you're in Photos, the new Photos app. Regardless of either one of those programs, you're going to open them up and you're going to try to get the pictures off of this phone. You're going to remove the pictures off of the phone so that frees up a lot of space. Once that space is freed up, then you're going to start the step of converting over to your iCloud photo library. And it's easy. All you do is in Settings, in iCloud, if you follow me, in Photos, you're going to turn that button up at the top on. Now, you don't have that button yet because you're in iOS 7.
Okay.
I just gave you a lot of information at one time, and I realize I went through that kind of fast. I also record this, and I will post this up into my previous town halls section probably later tonight. So if you get lost and you need to kind of go back and listen to what I was saying again, it'll be recorded and on my website. All right?
Okay, wonderful, because I will go back and listen to it.
You're welcome to hang out with us. I'm going to jump over to Barbara, who's been patient with us. Barbara, what can I do for you this evening?
Oh, I'm just trying to keep up with you, quite honestly. And I'm not sure I'm in Yosemite because I have what Rebecca has on her screen.
Okay.
So,
well, let's check.
How I go back and listen to this again? This is all so new to me. You know, I'm intimidated by this. So
understand. Well, this is exactly why I do this, though, is for people who are new to the Mac or just want to just need a little bit of extra help. This is one of the reasons that I do this town hall, and I'm offering it for free for the next 2 months. I've also, in the last 5 years, I've done it for free, but I've decided to monetize it, so I'm going to give it away for free for the next 2 months, and then it is included if we've worked together within the last 2 months. You'll be able to access that at any time. So let's say if you schedule me in January, then you have access to Town Hall January and February, if that makes some sense. But for now, let's solve your problem, or let's figure out what operating system you're on, both Rebecca and Barbara. The way to do this is under the black apple, and you can follow along with me. Under the black apple in your computer, in the top left-hand corner, you'll see About This Mac. Select About This Mac, and you're going to see a window pop up, and that tells you a lot about what's on your computer. Every year, Apple updates the operating system to the computer. And now they name it after interesting places in California. They named last year's was Mavericks, this year is Yosemite, and next year's is El Capitan. So when this pops up, it tells you at the top version. Now you can see on mine, I'm on version 10.10.4 OS 10 Yosemite. What does yours say, Barbara?
OS X version 10.9.5, but then a little thing came over to the side that says Yosemite down here, and I guess I'm supposed to punch on it.
Yeah, if you want to update to Yosemite. And Rebecca, did you see what version you're on?
Yeah, I'm on 10.10.3.
Okay, so the difference is that Rebecca has already done the update. You're just one small little update behind Rebecca, which is not a big deal, but you already have the new Photos app. Barbara is one operating system behind. Yeah. So Barbara, to get caught up, you're going to go into the App Store. Now, the App Store is available either in your dock, and you can see mine is down here. It says App Store. Or you might have to go digging for it in the applications folder. So let's say let's just pretend for a minute that that it's not in the dock. So I'm going to go find it. You open up a Finder window by clicking the little happy face in the Finder or in the dock.
Wait. Okay, I see your phone now. Okay, now what?
So I'm going to go look for the App Store. So I need to open up a Finder window. So to open that Finder window, I'll close it and open it again. I go down to the dock and I see the happy face. I call that the Picasso happy face because that's designed sort of after some of Picasso's paintings from the past. So I click on that and I get a Finder window. Now I need to go to the Applications folder because that's where the App Store is. So I select the Applications folder and I look through this big long list and there's the App Store right there. Now I want to get to that in the future, so I'm going to click on that and I'm going to drag it down into the dock so it stays there for the future. Now, your whole reason, Barbara, for going to the App Store was to download the latest version of the operating system called 10.10 Yosemite. So I've opened up the App Store, and here it is, and the App Store has to have the internet. And I'm not expecting for you to do this while we're online because we're on a meeting and it takes a lot of bandwidth to do this. So repeat, say again.
I said I'm taking notes.
Okay, and again, this will be recorded, so this is under my previous Town Halls section on my website. So once the App Store opens, and it's kind of slow on my computer because I'm hosting this meeting and that's going to take a little while, you're going to see on the front page of the App Store, when it finally loads, there it is, 10.10 or OS 10 Yosemite. You would click on OS 10 Yosemite or X, and once you get there, you're going to see an option over here that says Get or Download. You click on that and now you're on your way to installing the latest version of the operating system.
Okay, good.
All right? And that'll take you where you need to be. Oh, one more thing, Barbara. If you're like so many people that I've worked with, after they do this update, and this is why I mentioned that Rebecca has something that you don't have, after you do this update, iPhoto is gone out of your dock. So if you're used to using iPhoto for pictures, it's not there anymore. It's been replaced by a new program called Photos, and you can see it in my dock. It's the same. You'll notice that the icon on your phone for Photos and the new icon that will be in your dock are similar. It's like the old NBC logo from back in the old days with the peacock. So that is the new Photos app. So your pictures are not gone. They've just moved to a new application called Photos.
So how do I find them? Just through that?
When you open Photos for the first time, Photos is going to say, "Oh, welcome to Photos. Would you like us to move your pictures from iPhoto into Photos?" And you're going to say yes. And then it's going to say, "Well, we noticed that your photo library is 20 gigs or your photo library is 75 gigs, whatever that size is." And then they're going to proposition to you, they're going to say, "Would you like us to store all of your pictures up on the internet?" Now, I said yes to that, because that's great. All my pictures went up to the internet, and now I can see all of my pictures from my phone, like I was talking about earlier. That also kind of solves Rebecca's problem. I think it was Rebecca. I might be getting people mixed up. But Rebecca had the problem of she has all these pictures on her phone. But I don't have that problem. I have an even smaller phone than she has. I have a 16 gig. But I'm using on my phone, and you follow on my screen, I'm using the iCloud photo library, which means that while I don't have the originals, I have the thumbnails that are stored on my phone. That means I'm not walking around with every single picture. I'm walking around with access to every single picture on my phone. Therefore, I don't need hardly the amount of space on my phone to keep up with all the pictures I have because they're just little thumbnails.
Now,
Up until now, I have always plugged my phone into the computer and put them on the computer to clear up space on my phone. Now, what happens to them there?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, the days, that's a great question. The days of plugging your phone up to sync things back and forth are kind of over. Because
okay.
once you turn on iCloud Photo Library, your pictures that are on your phone are exactly the same as the pictures in your Photos application on your computer. If you delete one in Photos, it's off of your phone. If you delete it off your phone, it's off of Photos. And they are just perfectly synced, and it works really, really well. The mistake that some people make, and that's what the mistake that I thought Rebecca had made at the beginning, was some people select to download and keep the originals. I'm going to pull up Photos here on my computer. Some people were selecting to download and keep the originals on their iPad or on their phone, and that's not a good idea because that defeats the purpose. You don't need the original on your phone, really. So this is to look at my phone in the top right-hand corner of my screen. I go to Photos. There's that long scrolling window of every picture in my life. So I could go back to 2008 or 2009 and pull a picture up. If I select it, now I'm going to pull another picture up a little bit closer. And once I get to the picture I want to look at, if you're following along on the computer screen, I can click it.
I am.
And you'll notice a little clock just started in the bottom right-hand corner of that picture. It's downloading the original onto my phone. But before that, the original wasn't really there. Now, the only reason I need to actually download the original is maybe I want to email somebody that picture. I don't want to email them a thumbnail. I want to email them the actual original. So it's really helpful. And now I have access to every picture in my life. They're not all there.
How do you get them to thumbnails? How do you get them into the thumbnail version versus the picture?
Photos is going to do that for you. And if you look here on this blank screen that's trying to load, in a moment you're going to see Photos do the same thing. I've got it kind of in the front of us here. But in a few moments that will publish all of my pictures just like my phone has. And they line up exactly the same. But the new software does that. iOS 8 on the phone and Yosemite 10.10.3 or 10.10.4 do that on your computer.
Will it pick up everything that is already on the computer and put it all together?
Yes. Now, there's another piece of this that I really want Photos to hurry up and publish up here. I should have opened this before we started tonight because there's a mistake that Apple made. The mistake that Apple made is in iPhoto, if you kind of think back to iPhoto, the way iPhoto organized your pictures were by stacks, what were called events. So the time you went to Disney World, the time you had Thanksgiving dinner, the time everybody came over for Christmas. And so you'd look at these things in events and you would see a group of pictures and on the top was one picture. And that one picture represented all the other pictures behind that. And nobody understood events at all. Nobody could figure this thing out at all. It just didn't make sense. Everybody that I worked with were always confused about events versus albums. It just did not make sense. So when Apple came out with Photos, and it's finally showing up over here, one of the mistakes that they made was by default, they turned off all of those events and folders that we had created in iPhoto in the past. They turned them off so that you couldn't see them. So the first thing that I do, and this is important, the first thing that I do whenever I help somebody through this transition and they get to Photos, first thing that I do is under Photos, I go up under the word View in the menu bar. I select the view, and I'm sorry for my computer taking so long. It's trying to publish all these pictures out. And I say to show the sidebar. Now, unfortunately, I can't do it right now because my computer's just acting so slow. But under the word View, I show Sidebar. And what that does is it gives me the ability in Photos to see the left-hand column of pictures again, just like I had in iPhoto. So I have the thumbnails over on the right, and I have the left-hand column of all the events and things that I had in the past over on the left. Does that make sense?
Yep, it does.
Yeah. One of the other things that Apple did by default that I did not like was when you update to Safari, the latest version of Safari, they hide your bookmarks. So I have to go with people when they're not really even looking. I go up under the word View, and I say, hey, please show me my favorites, because by default, Apple makes it look like this. You can see across the top here, that's you can't see your bookmarks. So I always, with people, I go up under the word View and I say show favorites, because people are so used to seeing their favorites across the top there.
Where do you see View? I don't see View.
Oh, now Safari has to be selected. So if you're not in Safari, you won't see the word Safari in the top right-hand corner of your computer.
Okay.
So finally, photos are starting to generate over here. I'm sorry it's so slow, but you can see on the left-hand column all of my groupings that I've had in the past. And by default, Apple hides those. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm done. I feel like I'm taking up too much time, Rebecca.
No,
Go ahead.
No, you're fine. The next question I had, Scotty, while you've been on the phone, of course I haven't restarted, but I updated my operating system, but when you were in Photos and talking, and I went back and I thought, well, do I have all my photos in the cloud? And so if I go under, if I hit Photos and I go up to the top and I say, is it under Preferences?
Yes, it is.
Because according to this, my library location is admin, and that appears to be on my desktop.
Yes.
My Mac.
Yes.
But so what do I do to get them to the iCloud?
They're in two places. So your original pictures,
Okay.
your copies, should always belong to you, and you should have them on your computer. Because what if something happened at Apple and they lost all your pictures? We don't want to trust any company.
Well, and Apple has given warnings, don't rely on us to keep everything up here.
Very good. Right.
So that's fair.
So under Photos, and man, I wish my Photos was working fast. This is just ridiculous here tonight. But under Photos, when you select it and you go to Preferences, you'll see a button that says iCloud. And I'm doing this off the top of my head, but they're under Preferences.
Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, you'll see iCloud. You select that, and then you will see the ability to push those pictures up to the internet. Publish pictures up to the iCloud. I can jump over and look at your screen if you'd like us to.
Let me see. I forget how to do that.
That's okay. I'm sending you a message right now. So you've been made the
Okay.
presenter. Just hit OK, and we'll be able to see your screen. Maybe in the meantime, my Photos app will start acting right.
Are they showing my screen?
I see your
now?
screen. Yeah. Okay, so first I'd like you to minimize Chrome. You don't need Chrome, so just hit the yellow button and get that out of there.
Okay.
What happened? I got host your next meeting. What's going on here?
I'm not sure.
What?
Who knows? Maybe Rebecca's blown the internet up or something.
That could happen.
Well,
Yeah, that's what's in the realm.
so we've got Photos here. Now, if you will go up to Photos and select Preferences. And we'll see if you've made this choice. Yeah, you have. Okay, so all of your pictures are up there, and they're already up. You've already uploaded your pictures, Rebecca. They're waiting for an iOS device that's up to date. The problem is your
Okay, so now if I take this is so can I presume from this then that everything that's been taken on my iPad is also up there, or do I need to go check Photos on my iPad as well?
Yeah, I would not assume.
preferences.
I would not assume that they're there. I would assume that iPad photos are not synced up because you're on iOS 7 on the iPad, and you have to have iOS 8 in order for iCloud Photo Library to work. So what I would do before you do anything is plug the iPad up and let Photos take off whatever pictures it sees that are there. In other words, hey, there's some pictures that are there that haven't been there in a while. By the way, while we're looking at this view, you're looking at like the last couple of days, but if you'll notice, and you can close the preferences window now, you can get rid of that. And there's an arrow to the left and an arrow to the right in the top left-hand area. That gives you a bird's eye view. So every time you click that left hand, you're going farther out and farther out and farther out. Yeah, there you go. Right. And those are those thumbnails. Yeah, and now those will populate eventually. Those will all eventually populate. Barbara, are you watching with us, or are you lost in somewhere?
I am. I'm thinking, how in the world do you pinpoint a picture in that glob? I see Dublin, and Texas, and Illinois, and Tuscany, and Colorado. I think, whoa.
Well, the cool thing is if you think back, like if you're looking for a time that you went to the beach in 2009, you can scroll down to 2009, and you notice that your beach pictures are all going to be sort of a similar way. Like I see that if she just stops, I'll see she went somewhere where she was taking a lot of landscape pictures. Maybe she went to the Grand Canyon, or that gives you a certain tone of color, and that's an easy way to detect where you were. You went on some trip where it was really dry, deserty, and she's clicking on that now, and that's pulling up to the Alamo or something, or somewhere.
It says Alamo.
I have the Alamo in here too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Tuscany.
Okay, gotcha.
And she didn't have to dig down through it. She kind of just eyeballed it because the thumbnail gave her a hint. And I like this so much more than making a folder over to the side and relying on what the top of that picture is. I just like this a lot better personally.
No, because also, Barbara, see, you can stop like at this size of a thumbnail, or if I want them really small, I thought I could press over one more time.
You should be able
and
to.
And they get really, really small.
Yeah,
but if I want them a little bigger, then I can make them a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
So they can, like this.
Okay, but so I never really organized all mine. I mean, I never loaded them on top of one another and made all those things. I never did it. It's just a mess.
And you know what? That's good. But I didn't either. Or I started and I gave up on it. But now with the way that this is presented, it's just all laid out for you. So if you notice on Rebecca's left-hand side, she's not scrolling up and down on that scroll side to look for her pictures. She's just looking at them through this view, this big bird's eye view, because it really just is so much easier. So if you spent all this time in the past organizing Hawaii 2012 and Italy 2012, you don't really need to do that anymore. You want to find Hawaii 2012, scroll to 2012 and look for blue.
But if I mean, I should go in there before I do this new system and delete all, I mean, like I'm in design, and there are a lot of things I take pictures of for clients, and I don't need them anymore. Don't you think I ought to delete everything I don't really want before I do this?
If you want to. I'm not telling you should do that, but a lot of people do that. A lot of people don't like to have those two worlds mixed together, and I understand. I work with a lot of people that take pictures of things that they don't necessarily need to care about, but that's the business you're in, and you're using the same device on both, and there's really not a great way to separate the two. I have doctors that take pictures of surgeries, and they don't want those pictures showing up in their iPhoto libraries. But the way that this consumer product works, all of your pictures land on your iPhone or in the new Photos app, so it's kind of hard these days to keep that separate.
Okay. All right. Let me ask you one other question.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that I have to go to my iPad? I don't go to one device to upload the Yosemite. I have to go to each one of them. I have to go to the iPad and the Mac Pro and also my phone. I mean, how do you do that?
I'm going to go back and clarify. We're talking about two different operating systems. One operating system is for a computer. That's called Yosemite. Okay. The other operating system is for a phone or an iPod. That's called an iOS. iOS. So the operating system you get through the App Store on your computer, like we talked about, that's 10.10 Yosemite. The iOS device, the update for that kind of comes automatically. Apple really bugs you a lot to update. So if you want to update on your phone, and I'm looking at my phone, you can't see my screen. I'm going to jump back over to my screen now. We've invaded Rebecca's privacy enough here.
You know, it's always telling me to update and to read all this long thing before I update, and it's just a pain. And so I think, I better not update it, just better leave it. But that's not true.
Yeah, there are people that never update, and I get to their homes, and they are in like iOS 5, and their operating system is 10.6, and they're way behind. And at that point, I tell them, all right, do these updates, and I'm leaving, because there's no sense in trying to fix a problem that is going to be solved by updating. So on your phone, if you want to know what version you're on, or on your iPad, you'd go, and my phone should be showing up on your screen now. And the phone and the computer, or phone and the iPad are the same thing. You're going to go to Settings, General, About, and we've been here several times, under Version.
Right.
And my version is 8.4 because I'm up to date. If your version...
That's what I need.
Go ahead.
I need 8.4.
Yeah. Yeah, 8.4 is the latest one. If you're on 7, then you're not doing any of this photo library up in the sky stuff at all. That's not happening for you right now.
Okay. And so to update, you just go to the App Store?
On your phone, to do the update,
Yeah.
back in settings, you'll see general. I tell people follow the 1. So usually there's going to be a 1, and then you click it, there's going to be a 1 next to general, and then there's going to be under software update, there's going to be a 1, and you select that, and then it would check for an update, and it would say, well, you need to do this update, and so you follow the 1.
So 1, well, you know, there is a 1 already here.
So you might be on iOS 8.3 and iOS 8.4 is available. Apple almost every week is coming out with an update. And I tell people, don't update right away. It's not a smart thing to do to update right away. Wait. Wait a week. Let it bother you for a week and then do the update. Because sometimes the update's not healthy. Sometimes it has some problems. And Apple sends the update out and they get a little like, oh my gosh, this wasn't right. And they pull it down off of the internet. And then they wait and then they publish it back after they get it fixed.
So I shouldn't do this 8.84?
This has been available for a while now. So you can go ahead and do it. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me ask you ladies a question. How was the process of signing up using the code and all that? Because this is all new for me using this new system. Was it hard? Tell me.
It's very easy.
Yeah?
It was really easy. What I did find difficult was it said you might want to go ahead and download it to your computer so you have it in the future, and there was just way too much information. I was afraid to touch any of it.
All right, then that's good feedback. I was working on that little template tonight, and I thought what I was trying to do is provide people multiple ways of getting there. But I think what I'm hearing from you is I don't need all those ways. It's just the one link will do it. What will often happen is people will join the meeting through a web browser. So instead of downloading GoToMeeting, and it looks like, I think maybe both of you ladies downloaded GoToMeeting. Some people will just join through a web browser, and then when I need to see their screen, they have to go and download that software. So, but I think GoToMeeting is changing that. So yeah, that's a good point. I might make that easier. But overall, it made sense to you that, okay, good. Great. Well, this code that you're using now will be good up and through September 1st, and then the code would expire, and I'll only be helping people if we've worked together over the last 2 months. So, anyway, you guys have any other questions for me this evening?
I'm good. Thank you so very much, Scotty.
Well, if you
I have one.
Yeah, take it.
It says you're not doing personal, and so I'll keep it real brief. But you were just here, and we synced everything together. And when I went to call a client, there in the contacts, it's totally gone. It's gone. That contact is gone. And I wondered if maybe, I didn't notice any others gone, but I wondered what might have happened.
So the way I check when I'm looking at syncing contacts back and forth with each other is the first thing that I do on my phone and the computer is I want to see what iCloud account am I signed in under. So on the phone, I'm going to go to iCloud, and here I'm signed in at the top as sales@mac.com. That's my ID. So now I'm going to go to the system preferences on the computer, and I want to check iCloud system preferences. And I hope that I'm signed in as the exact same person, and I'm pretty sure that you are. Now
I can't look now because it's uploading that software and it's very slow, so I can't look at this point.
Well, I'm recording this, so you can go back and look at it too. So under iCloud and System Preferences, I load up that control panel there in System Preferences, and I want to look and see, am I logged in as Sales@Mac? Now, one of the mistakes that a lot of people make before I get to them is that they choose to sync their contacts or their calendars over Yahoo, and they let Google sync them, and they let AOL sync them, and they let iCloud sync them. And what I try to do is say, don't let more than one company sync this stuff. And I usually choose, iCloud. So it's possible, although unlikely, because I usually check this, but it's possible that that contact was in your Gmail contacts and not your iCloud contacts. How many of these contacts do you think or have just disappeared off of your device? Lots and lots, or just one or two?
I can't really tell. I mean, not until I need them would I know.
Yeah.
I just know that I don't know anything. I mean, I don't think I've ever used iCloud. I think I just put a contact in, and it says done, and I think it's in Gmail.
Well, the way you can check that is, this is what I do. If you look on my phone, I'll show you what I do. I go to Mail Contacts and Calendars. So I'm having to wait for it to catch up. I select Mail Contacts and Calendars, and then that list that I see across the top there, I do not want to see contacts in anything else other than iCloud. But a lot of people will have a Yahoo account and a Gmail account, and they'll have contacts turned on. So if you notice, I could select Gmail, and I could turn contacts on in Gmail. I do not want to do that, because now I have a group of contacts with this company and a group of contacts with that company, and it gets to be too confusing. So I like to choose one company to organize my contacts. So it's possible that the contact that you're missing was living in some other company's contact syncing, but it's also possible that you're just not even, your iCloud settings on your phone or iPad versus your iCloud settings on your computer are just not turned on. So with my system preferences here, I've gone and I see that I'm logged in at sales@mac.com. Me and Mac are the same thing. And I've got my contacts turned on. So with my contacts turned on here and my contacts turned on my phone, they should be the same contacts.
Okay. All right. So if I turn off Gmail, does that mean that will it automatically go to iCloud or no?
No, those contacts that may have lived with Google or Gmail, those just fall off of your phone. So what we would have to do, you would either figure this out or hire somebody like me, but you take those contacts out of Gmail and you put them in iCloud. And there are a couple steps to that. There's several steps to that.
You know what? We're going to meet again when I get back from my trip, so don't worry about it. I can get that one contact.
Yeah, just keep a running list of those things.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Well, if this has been helpful, there is a review link on the front page of my website. If you haven't done a review lately, I appreciate that. Send a review into Apple. If you have, I appreciate it. So other than that, I will. You guys can come and join me for the next 2 months as many times as you want, and I'm doing this on Mondays and Wednesdays.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.